I'm happy to report that as of Monday, July 6th, Massachusetts has officially entered Phase 3, Step 1 of the state's reopening plan. Back on May 18th, the Baker administration announced that Massachusetts would open in a 4-phased plan, while the lowest risk for COVID transmission industries would open first. Now, in Phase 3, Step 1, we're moving into closer contact industries. As of Monday, the following businesses are allowed to open: gyms and fitness centers, movie theaters and outdoor performance venues, museums and historic sites, certain indoor recreational activities with low potential risk for contact, and professional sports teams without spectators. The guidelines for these industries include limiting indoor capacity to 40% of your permitted capacity, or 8 people per 1,000 square feet. These limits include workers, staff, and customers. It's also recommended that you install barriers between stations or in between areas where customers would be interacting, and to maintain at least 6 feet between all visitors and customers. It's also encouraged that face coverings are required for all visitors and staff. As a reminder, bars, nightclubs, and dance clubs are prohibited until Phase 4. For fitness centers and gyms, all exercise equipment should be at least 14 feet apart unless barriers are installed, and then this can be reduced to 6 feet. And for fitness classes, there must be at least 14 feet between participants, again, unless there's barriers between them, so things between yoga mats or between spin bikes. Indoor recreational activities include batting cages, driving ranges, bowling alleys, go-karts, and rock climbing facilities. So all of those are part of Phase 3, Step 1. Arcades and other closer contact indoor recreations are not currently allowed. They may be allowed in a future step within Phase 3 or reopen with Phase 4. Tours such as bus tours, whale watching, or duck boat tours are also now open, with occupancy limited to 50% of the vehicle or vessel's permitted capacity. Walking tours are still limited to 10 people per tour. So on Nantucket, we have a lot of those options with walking tours and museum tours. Unfortunately, this summer, we do not have any operational tour buses, but there are still other ways to experience Nantucket. Phase 3, Step 1, also brought through some changes for industries that had previously opened. So for retail, store capacity is now limited to 50% capacity, which has been brought up from previous phases, or 8 people per 1,000 square feet. So that's a really important number to remember, that 8 people per 1,000 square feet, that is across all industries for indoor social distancing. Office space previously opened with a 25% capacity, and that has now been raised to 50% with this new phase. As with every phase prior, the administration has released sector guidelines to assist businesses in knowing the protocols to keep our communities safe and our businesses open. They've also provided mandatory safety standards for workplaces and a COVID-19 control plan. All of these resources and information can be found at mass.gov/reopening, as well as all the sector-specific guidelines for reopening your business. As mentioned previously, all businesses should be promoting social distancing and encouraging face coverings and maintaining 6 feet between customers, staff, and all people indoors and outdoors. On Monday, the governor also relaxed the group gathering restrictions. For indoor gatherings, you can have 8 people per 1,000 square feet. Again, that's the lucky number, with a max of 25 people. For outdoor gatherings and enclosed spaces, such as the brewery, there's a limit to 25% of their capacity, with a maximum of 100 people. These include events such as community events, sporting events, concerts, and more. It does not apply to outdoor unenclosed spaces as long as proper social distancing can take place. So for indoor, you can have a max of 25 people in places such as theaters or concert venues. Outdoor, the max is 100. As a reminder, all staff is included towards this count, so any event, concert, outdoor includes the performers, the staff, any catering, all of that would be included towards the capacity limit. Weddings and events are allowed, but it's just a reminder that dance floors and bars are still prohibited. With this new phase, we'll see more Nantucket businesses reopen, such as the Nantucket Health Club, the Whaling Museum, and the Dreamland Theater. While some are choosing to remain closed this season, there are many other ways to experience and support our cultural organizations and the many businesses on Nantucket. We encourage you to look at nantucketchamber.org/open to see what's currently open, and nantucketchamber.org/members lists all businesses that you could support on Nantucket. As a reminder, there's still a recommended 14-day quarantine for anyone traveling to Massachusetts, except for those traveling from other New England states or traveling from New York or New Jersey. Traveling from New England, New York, or New Jersey are all exempt from that 14-day quarantine. Nantucket also has a local face covering order. So when inside the historic district downtown core or the Siasconset town core, you must wear a face covering at all times except when consuming food. And as a reminder, the sector guidance always trumps any other guidance or recommendation. So if you are having an event outdoors on the beach, that would limit to 100 people. But if you had catering or bar, then that would fall into those sector specific guidelines. You always want to make sure that you're following the specific guidelines set forth by your industry. While the previous phases of the reopening plan lasted between 3 and 4 weeks, it's expected that phase 3 will last until we have a cure or a vaccine. So right now we are in step 1 of phase 3, and it's expected that we'll have several steps within this reopening plan until we get to the point where we do have a cure or vaccine and can move into phase 4. Thank you.